choice, a chance.
There's your chance. Take it.
I'm grateful.
The day will come when you won't be.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Back again with another Walking Dead review. This for me for Season 7, Episode 3, entitled The Cell. And sorry this is a day late, guys. I didn't watch the episode till kind of late last night. Then I had to work both my jobs today, so I didn't have a chance to get this up last night, so I apologize. But nonetheless, let's get right into this review. The episode starts out at the Savior compound, the Sanctuary. Dwight watches TV, plays air hockey with Laura, and carves wooden figurines. In the marketplace, he cuts to the front of the bread line, and grabs an entire loaf. He watches Saviors beat up a red-haired man who gets into an argument with a worker. After the man is beaten to death, Dwight raids the man's living quarters, taking a jar of mustard and another one of pickles, and as his pregnant wife and son watch. Dwight grabs tomatoes from a vegetable garden and eggs from a chicken coop. Dwight, Gordon, and the workers kneel as Negan passes by. Dwight fixes himself an egg and salad sandwich, using the ransacked ingredients, and eats it outside, looking somewhat satisfied. He watches two workers wrangle a walker and chain it to the compound's walker-encrusted outer fence. Dwight slathers dog food onto a bread and takes the sandwich to Daryl, who is naked in a dark cell. Daryl eats it. Dwight shuts the door. There is a distinct sound of the door being locked. Daryl lies in the dark cell as music blasts in his ears. Dwight opens the door and gives him another sandwich. Daryl eats it. Dwight leaves. The sound of the doors being locked is heard once again. The scene is repeated, only this time Dwight gives Daryl clothes. Dwight leads Daryl out of his cell and takes him to Dr. Carson's office, where Dr. Carson has just finished examining Sherry. Sherry recognizes Daryl, but Dwight forbids her from talking to him. She tells Dwight that her pregnancy test is negative. As she walks out, she advises Daryl to do whatever he's told. Dr. Carson examines Daryl's injured shoulder and assures him that Negan will take care of him. As Dwight leads Daryl back down the hall, Negan appears and pulls Dwight aside for a talk. A Savior Fat Joey guards Daryl at gunpoint. Directly in front of Daryl is an open door. Beyond it, he sees an efficiency apartment. Dwight drags him away. Dwight takes Daryl outside and shows him the compound's fence line. They watch as two workers secure a new walker outside. It's the red-headed man from the marketplace. Dwight says Daryl will be forced to work in the yard if he doesn't make the right choices. Back in his cell, Daryl tells Dwight that he will never kneel for Negan. I said that too, says Dwight. He shuts the door. The sound of the lock is heard and music resumes. Daryl desperately probes the cell walls and kicks the door. Negan tells Dwight it's working slow, but it's working. Some people are harder to break than others, he says. He commends Dwight and offers to let him sleep with one of his wives. Dwight politely declines, angering Negan, but then a voice comes over his walkie notifying him of a runaway worker. Negan tells Dwight to send someone else to take care of its grunt work, but he assures Negan he's enjoying doing it. Dwight leaves the compound on his motorcycle. Back in Daryl's cell, the music plays on. Joey brings him a sandwich. He shuts the door, and this time the sound of the lock isn't heard. Daryl waits, then sneaks out and creeps down the hallway. Meanwhile, Dwight walks his motorcycle through a herd of maimed walkers crawling on a highway. A walker falls from an overpass above. Dwight dives out of the way, struggles with a walker, and shoots it. Daryl moves quietly down a corridor. Sherry stops him and urges him to go back to his cell or risk getting captured and suffering worse consequences. He ignores her and makes his way outside. He makes a beeline for some parked motorcycles, but is stopped by a group of saviors who anticipated his escape. Negan appears. Are we pissing our pants yet? He asks again. Negan asks these saviors surrounding Daryl, "Who are you?" They all respond, "Negan." He tells Daryl that he failed his chance to prove he's ready for the next step. Negan presents three options: death, working for points, or working for Negan and living like a king. Daryl doesn't reply. Negan swings Lucille at Daryl, stopping just short of hitting him, but Daryl doesn't even flinch. Negan leaves as the saviors beat Daryl. Back on the road, Dwight spots Gordon, the runaway worker, and tackles him to the ground. Sherry stops by Daryl's cell and apologizes for stealing his motorcycle and crossbow in the woods. Dwight leads Gordon back towards the Savior compound. Gordon begs Dwight to shoot him and wonders why everyone lets Negan one man frighten them into submission. He finally agrees to return to the compound after Dwight threatens to hurt his loved ones. As Gordon starts walking, Dwight shoots him, dead. Once Dwight is back at the compound, he finds Sherry in a stairwell and they smoke cigarettes together. "Is he good to you?" Dwight asks. "Yeah," she says. We did the right thing," he tells her. "It's a hell of a lot better than being dead." Dwight opens Daryl's cell door and gives him food. He doesn't eat it this time. Dwight tapes a gruesome Polaroid photo of Daryl's wall and leaves. Daryl throws the photo on the floor and picks it up. He looks at it and cries, seeing Glenn's dead body. Dwight hears him sobbing from the hallway. Dwight wakes Daryl and leads him to the efficiency apartment where Negan awaits. Negan explains to Daryl how Dwight became one of his top men. Dwight, Sherry, and her sister, Tina, used to work for Points. When Tina fell behind on Points on account of her costly medication, he asked her to marry him. Dwight, Sherry, and Tina stole the medicine and ran away. They returned after Tina's death. Dwight asked for forgiveness and begged Negan not to kill Sherry. Sherry offered to marry Negan if he spared Dwight's life. He agreed, but had to burn Dwight's face with an iron, as punishment. Dwight has been on board ever since. Negan tells Daryl he can be one of his top men and he can live in this apartment. All you have to do is answer one simple question. "Who are you?" Negan asked Daryl. "Who are you?" he asked again. After a long silence, Daryl responds with his own name. Back in Daryl's cell, Dwight yells at him for jeopardizing his own life. "I get why you did it, why you took it," he says. "You were thinking about someone else. That's why I can't." Outside, Dwight chucks his beer bottle and watches two workers secure a new walker on the fence line. "It's Gordon," he claws at the fence, and that's how the episode comes to an end. So yeah, guys, it was I thought it was a pretty good episode. Introducing the Saviors at the Sanctuary and kind of seeing how things are run there, and we got a little bit of backstory on Dwight and how he got back. When he got back to the Sanctuary after last season when he was introduced to us. With he's stealing Daryl's bike and crossbow and everything, and so that was kind of cool to kind of to bridge the story there, to kind of see why he joined Negan. It was Negan's kind of like his other right hand man, so to speak. So yeah, I thought it was a really good good storytelling episode. And so you're getting all the stories told. Last week was the Kingdom. Now they're telling the story of the Sanctuary, and they're building it all up. And like I said, on the previews for next week, it looks like it's going to be awesome. It's going to be an hour and a half long next week, and it's going to be Negan showing up to Alexandria, trying to, I guess, maybe take his first offering, so to speak, that like he was saying. So that should be awesome to see next week. But that was this review for this guy, this one, season 7, episode 3, entitled "The Cell." And appreciate y'all checking this out as always, guys. And I will be back next week for episode 4. Y'all be good.
Welcome to Woodburn.
Listen up, pants yet?